everyone. So I can't believe we're in week 3 of module 2. Time sure is going by fast. I hope everyone had a great week last week. I hope everyone is completing their service learning required documents. At this time, you should have all of your stuff submitted to Teams. You should have already had your background check or have completed or at least scheduled for your background check and then purchased your liability insurance. I have been in contact. There are a few people that I emailed letting you know that you have been approved at a certain location or within the district, and you have to make arrangements for that. But remember, even if I'm sending you emails saying you've been approved, I still have to give you the green light before you can begin the service learning, because we still have to submit that referral confirmation form as well. So there's a lot of parts to the service learning, so just make sure that you are getting your paperwork in, and if you have questions, we can meet on Teams, we can meet in person or over the phone. But remember, service learning is a requirement for this course. In order to pass this course, you do have to complete this high impact practice, and you have to complete your 12 hours. So I explained at the very beginning of this course when we first started in the first week that it is a process, so that's why we started early to get everyone placed, and certainly so you can have time to do your 12 hours. So if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out about that or anything else. So just go ahead and recap what we did last week. Last week we were working in week 2, so we were learning about the history of special education and also the law and legislation and litigation, and concentrating mostly on the laws like IDEA that protect you and protect the students in your classroom, as well as some of the laws that are pertinent to you as far as special education. And even if you're not going in special education, in any gen ed classroom with inclusion, you are going to be working with students, so you need to be well aware of the legislation, the laws of special education, as well as how it pertains to you. And just having that history. I know when we were going through week 2, I gave you 2 PowerPoints. Save those PowerPoints. Anytime I give you review games, use those review games. These are ways for you to get feedback to see how you're doing with the content. And always try to make sure that if there's something you don't follow or understand, reach out to me, because I know it can be a little bit more difficult when you're doing this type of course online instead of in person with the instructor. So please, if you don't understand what's going on or you're confused about the content of the week or have questions about something specifically, please reach out and ask me. So I wanted to go into week 3 kind of touching back on some of the things that we learned as far as last week when we were going over the law. So I thought, why not work on IDEA? So as you know, IDEA stands for Individual Disabilities Education Act. So if you look here on week 3, I always tell students that this top section, these are your resources. If you are to scroll down, those at the bottom are assignments you actually turn in to me. So I want you to look here. There is a Nearpod lesson. I don't know if anyone is familiar with Nearpod. Nearpod is a great interactive tool for you. Instead of just looking at a PowerPoint, it is a self-paced activity that gives you slides but takes you to web pages. It asks you questions, so it's very interactive. So I have a Nearpod lesson for you about IDEA. So when you click on it, it's going to show you a link and then also gives you a code. So so if you'll see here at the top, anytime I give you a Nearpod lesson, it says watch the Nearpod lesson below, join at join.nearpod.com. So if you go to join.nearpod.com and you put in this code, you should be able to activate and start the interactive lesson. I also included the link here for you, so just make sure that you're always looking at those when you're going to Nearpod. The easiest thing I tell students is just go to join.nearpod.com and put your code in. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. So you will be looking at that and walking through the presentation, this interactive presentation for you about IDEA. Some of them are shorter than others, some are a little bit longer. It just depends on the content itself. For reading, you're only going to be reading one page out of our Exceptional Learners textbook, and this is going to go back to the content that we learned last week a little bit. So you're going to read page 13. So make sure you read that. You also have a video that's talking about IDEA 40 years later. So this is by Dr. Samuel Measles, and I actually have two videos here. The first one is celebrating 40 years later, and it talks a little bit more about IDEA. And then this second video is talking about Part B of Section 619 and Part C. This is very important. I want you to watch this because this is what you'll be tested on. We're going to be learning about IDEA in the different parts, and you will see this on quiz 1. So make sure you're watching them. If you don't like to watch and you're not a visual and you're more of a read-write learner, I did include the transcript. So if you're not going to watch it, you should read the transcript of the videos. I also have a TEIS brochure. Now this is something that I also want you to look at. I'll pull it up here for you. When you click into it, you'll get to pull this up as I am. This brochure is going to help you because you're going to be completing a worksheet. So what TEIS is called Tennessee Early Intervention System. And what this is a good resource for parents who maybe have children in early childhood that may have disabilities or special needs. And what they offer is they can help support families and help children develop through those milestones and make sure children are developing where they can based on their special needs. It gives them a network of who to reach out to in the community. They have intervention plans for early childhood and those early little tots and things like that. It gives them strategies to help families. So this sheet here you're going to use, and when you click in actually TEIS to get you're going to see I make a note in the notes here. I put that this brochure provides an overview of the program, so what TEIS is about and how it supports family. But you'll look, I put that you will use it to complete the IDEA note sheet, which you will be turning in under assignments. And I went ahead and linked that there as well. So you'll find this sheet in two places. You'll find it here and you'll find it under assignments. It's not two separate sheets, it's the same thing. But you will be using it to complete one part of the worksheet. And yes, I will be testing you on the information in the worksheet. That's why I provided it, because it allows you to use as a study guide. So for assignments alongside, and there's that IDEA note sheet I talked about, I'll pull it up so you can see it. I will be testing you on the principles of IDEA and what it is. So you will see this on the test. So you as a teacher also need to know what this means, even if you're a gen ed teacher, and how this will affect you and what does it stand for. So you're just going to write in, so you should be able to just use this and submit the assignment as it is. So you should be able to type inside of this and save it. So don't try to recreate this document, just use this that I've provided for you. So you're going to go through and fill out what are the 6 principles of IDEA. Now, you saw this last week when we were talking about week 2, the special litigation and law, so you'll find the information in your PowerPoint. And you will also find it in your textbook. So you're going to find it in the supplemental resource, A Teacher's Guide to Special Education. You'll see it in there as well. So there's a couple different places that you will find this information if you're looking for it. Also, you will find a lot of this information for what we talked about last week in the PowerPoints, and you're going to be seeing a lot of this in the video for Dr. Measles on IDEA, so this week as well. I told you that the TEIS, you'll be using it to fill out this worksheet. Well, there you go. You will see it starts talking about TEIS, so you could use that worksheet to help you answer these questions, okay? So that's what you'll complete, save it, and then you'll submit it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to fill out a discussion board this week. So what you're going to do is you have a video here called Video Child Outcomes Step by Step. And this was actually a video that came from the Office of Special Education, or known as OSEP, which you will also become familiar with. And it talks about those Part C and Part B, Section 6 and 18 that we were talking about in your worksheet. And this just offers you some explanation and describes step by step and provides you an overview of the outcomes of professional development, like orienting families. How do you get professional development so you know how to talk to the families? Introducing outcomes, and really how is this necessary, the functioning necessary for each child to be active, and for the parents to be successful participants at home, and how's the community going to support them. So this is a really great video, okay? So as you see, there's also questions down here. Well, excuse me, not questions, but it talks a little bit more about it, and then it gives a citation here of the publisher's work. But if you look here, I do have a discussion for you. So when you click on it, it should take you directly to the discussion board, which is what you'll be completing. There's the transcript for it. So like again, if you don't want to watch it in your read writer, you at least need to look at the transcript. Here's the discussion questions after the video that you watch. You will complete these. I provide you with the rubrics. You know how you're going to be graded. And remember, I put on here you have to respond to at least 2 classmates. If you do at least one, I'm not going to knock off any points, but at least one person you need to be replying to. Normally, if it's a small class, that's why I put that in there, you will reply to 2, but since this is a large online class, I'm fine if you just reply to 1 to get your points. But you have an option to gain up to 10 points for this assignment. So really, you're going to be doing 2 things. I know there's a lot of information here, but this stuff is connecting to what we did last week. And you're going to see that. Well, I'll go back and comment on things that we've learned before. Or remember when week 2, when we talked about this, and I'll always say, hey, in our video that I do for you each week, the weekly update, this is going to be on the test. So that way you'll know what you need to be studying. So you'll complete that along with the note sheet. So these combined are part of your assignment for this week. I also have review games. Now, review games are really great. If you'll click on it, you'll see this is a great way for you to get feedback, and it's connected to the content we're learning. So you'll see Quizlet for matching laws to description, major provisions of the IDEA. So I have 2 separate Quizlets here for you. They're both going to be over what we learned last week and this week. So make sure you study that because both of those are going to be on the test for quiz 1. And that's what you're going to be doing this week, guys. I hope that you are able to make connections this week. I really want you to pay attention to IDEA and the legislation for special education law from last week and this week. You will see this on the test. And don't worry, when it gets closer to quiz 1, which will be after quiz 5, so when we get into week 5, I will be giving you a review sheet that's going to really help you navigate and study. That way you can be successful with the test. Okay, guys, until next week, I hope you take care and you have a great week. I will be reaching out, like I said, as you get approved at these locations for service learning, I will be reaching out to you. Make sure that if you have questions, or if you need to meet with me about that, please make sure that you do because we have to get people placed. I'm already starting to get approvals coming in, which means that people are almost ready to start their hours. So please make sure you're checking your teams folder because if the service learning coordinator needs something from you or she's or she sent something back saying you need to redo this or this is not correct, she will contact you. She also contacts you through your senator's mail. So check that out as well. All right, guys, take care.